I'm Kris Barney, and today we have a special guest. It's Zane Gray.
The amazing
Zane Gray. Welcome, Zane. I'm so excited to have you here on our channel.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited too. This is going to be great.
This episode is the real magic, and we have talked a lot about a lot of different things. I've had a lot of experts that have come on our channel, but Zane is very special. Zane is a good friend, as well as I have seen you emceeing, I've seen you do magic, I've seen you as a keynoter. He has a lot of talents, and I am thrilled to have you with us today. So welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm actually very excited to be here and to talk about what really is magic in our lives. So it's fantastic. And yeah, we've known each other, our family's known each other for a long time, and then we kind of made this connection, and so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm a little older than Zane, but we don't want to go there. But my dad actually coached you.
Yes, he did.
On a ball team with my brother.
Yeah.
Or brothers. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Both of them, but my younger brothers. So that was really fun when we met again in business and went, hey, are you so-and-so or so-and-so? And made the connection. So very fun.
Extremely exciting when you make that connection and realize my dad worked with your dad, and oh wait, your dad coached me. So many good times, small world.
Yes, and small town at that point.
Yeah, it used to be.
Little Lehigh then in Utah, but not so little anymore. But I just want to jump in and get going with this.
Okay.
Before we do, I'm going to just invite you to go to the website and get your 7 traits. The 7 traits that I teach all the time. Right here on the screen you can see. Go to my website, www.allthingspossible.biz, and get your free gift. It's the 7 traits. It's a video series that comes right to you over 2 weeks and gives you the 7 different traits, how you can implement them in your life and change your life right now. So go and get that, and we're going to jump in and get going.
Absolutely.
So Zane, tell us your story.
Well, my story is long, but it's awesome. I've been very blessed in my life. I started doing magic at the age of 8 years old, and I turned professional at the age of 16, and at the age of 18 I had the opportunity to audition to work on a cruise ship. Never been on a cruise ship. Grew up in Utah, totally landlocked. You know, Utah Lake was like the farthest I'd ever been away as water goes.
Which is around the corner.
Yeah, just like right there, and you know, it was like 6 feet deep, I think, at its deepest part. And
it's a little deeper than that. We water skied on it.
Right. So I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell anybody, but I went and auditioned at the age of 18 to perform on a cruise ship. And it was an amazing experience. I ended up being the last guy to audition, and they told me prior to the audition that they weren't going to hire me. They said, there's no chance. You're too young. You know, you probably don't have the skills. You're too young. That was the biggest thing. You're young. You're way too young. But they let me audition anyway, and they gave me a 20-minute audition, and I auditioned for them, and I left. They gave me a contract to work on a cruise ship at the age of 18. I didn't accept the contract. There's a whole other story that I'm not going to go into today, but I chose instead. I'd made a prior commitment to my faith that I would do a church mission, so I went and did that instead and came home, and I really at the time kind of thought I'd given up on my dream of performing magic professionally. And it was shortly thereafter that I was in Vegas, and I was on stage, and I disappeared one night on stage. A guy by the name of David.
Literally disappeared.
A guy by the name of David Copperfield, who maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't.
Maybe you've heard of
pretty
him.
good, but I was on stage, and he made me disappear off stage. And after the show, we were in the green room talking, and we were talking about ways to make people disappear on and off stage. And I started thinking of all these amazing ideas and fun things, and I decided, you know, magic's really a great way to go. And I knew that I had a passion for it, and I knew I was pretty good at it. And at that point, I think I decided, hey, let's take this and run with it and see what happens. And so that led me to being able to perform magic all over the world. And sometimes that was keynote speaking and doing a little magic, and sometimes that was emceeing an event, and sometimes that was the New York Giants calling and saying, hey, will you come and talk to our athletes? Or, you know, the Utah Jazz or Real Salt Lake or whoever it was.
Right, and you get in that field,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what it is. It's like, okay, put on this hat, do this, do that. That's entertainment, right?
It is, and you know, it was awesome, and I loved it. But what happened was I found myself on the road, and I owned a company, and then I owned another company, and then I'm trying to do magic, and I'm speaking, and pretty soon I have 4 amazing kids.
And I'm like, and a wife, and
that's right.
children.
Yep, exactly. And I had 4 amazing kids, so I've got these amazing kids who I just didn't know. And I was gone all the time. And that led to just going through a crazy time in my life. And 6 years ago, I had these companies, and I ended up, I made some dumb business decisions, and I got arrested. That's the bottom line. I got arrested.
Wow.
Wow, it's right. Pretty heavy. Got arrested. I went to jail. I got divorced. I was kicked out of the church that I belonged to, and it was tough. It was a really hard time in my life, to the point that honestly, there were several times when I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, should I still be alive? Should I even be on this earth? Is it worth it for me to live?
Right.
And it was hard. It was a very difficult time.
To go from the high.
Yeah. I literally
on
went.
Stages, performing, making buku money.
Yeah.
And having it all.
Just
I'm sure at this point there was really nice car.
There was life was good. Yeah, I was living the dream in essence, but I didn't know my kids. I was gone all the time.
Right.
We had a nice home, nice cars, and I lost it all. And in a matter of days, I literally, to try to do the right thing and do everything right, I was just like, here, take it all, you know. And for 2 years, I kind of went through this whole struggle of depression, anxiety, just, it was hard. I don't even know how to put it other than it was hard.
Just the self-doubt and the...
Oh, yeah.
And really that suicidal, is it worth it?
Absolutely. And honestly, that's just being blunt honest, is I'm looking in the mirror thinking, maybe this world would be a better place if I wasn't here. And that's a scary place to get to. But I've been there. And so I'm incarcerated. And the whole time I'm like, what? I'm incarcerated. What the heck? And this one night, as I'm sitting there, this guy walks in. And I'm sitting out at a table. And when I say this guy, I mean the scary guy. I don't know how to put it on that, but
the big,
it's the guy that you see. Like if you're gonna
if
you're gonna cast somebody as like, hey, this guy's in prison, we're gonna cast him. He's gonna be the tall, bald, right? Tattoos all over there, and everywhere, and buff like they've been lifting weights. And here's me, just the chubby little bald, very good-looking guy, sitting at a table, bald, also, you know. And I'm sitting there, and this guy comes in, and he just sits down. Now I don't know him. I don't know anything about him other than I was afraid he was going to eat me. You know, I thought for sure I'm going to get shanked in the middle of the night. I don't know. But he came and sat down, and he just kind of had his head down. And the one thing that they do have is a deck of cards. And as
you do get cards.
So as an expert sleight of hand, close-up magician, right? Yeah, exactly. I could just tell he was having a bad day. And I'd had plenty of bad days to that point. So I walked up to him, and I said, hey, can I show you something? And he said, sure. And I started doing magic. And that led to a whole group of people kind of gathering around, which actually scared the guards. It did. It kind of scared them. Oh, there's a mob. Like, what's going on?
We're going to have
And
fight.
they came over. Yeah, exactly. They came over and they watched and I'm doing magic. And this guy's got a smile. And he's kind of laughing and chuckling. And we went to bed that night. And he left early in the morning. And he was taken... that day, what had happened. So I found out later what had happened. He wrote me a letter. And I don't know him. I still don't know. I couldn't tell you his name. I think I still have the letter. Couldn't tell you his name. But he wrote me a letter, and he said, I know you don't know me, and I don't know what happened, but today I went to court, and I am going to prison for life on a murder charge.
Wow.
And I don't know him, and it's not my place to judge him, and I don't know what happened, and you know, I want justice to be served on all accounts, so I'm not saying that, you know, it was okay or what he did was right, and I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is, here was a guy that I went and I did some magic tricks for, but he wrote me this letter, and he said, I had made the decision to kill myself tonight. But that life wasn't worth living, you know, and that there was no hope, and then you came and you did this for me, and it gave me hope. And at that point, I realized that magic could transcend and break down barriers. And I also made a commitment to myself that day that I was going to figure out what really, truly was magical in life. And that's why I think we get along so good, because of all the things that you teach and all the things that you implement in people's lives boil down to that magic.
Right.
It's the real magic.
The real magic.
You know, there's lots of people who do card tricks or money tricks or whatever else, but it's creating real magic in people's lives. And that has now become a passion of mine. Obviously, they let me out. No, I did.
He's on a little
that's right. A little time
recess right now.
Time has passed. So no, I was incarcerated, and I very much thought, I'm never going to get married again. I'm never going to be able to, you know, help people. How am I going to do all this stuff? I literally, the day that I got out, I had a driver's license and $12 to my name. That was it. A driver's license. I was homeless. I didn't have a vehicle. I had nothing. My parents said I could stay at their place while I was looking for work and trying to find a job, and you go through all of this, and ultimately, what saved me, I mean, physically, spiritually, emotionally, what saved me was magic. And so I created an acronym of magic and what that meant to me, and I have the privilege now of going and speaking at correctional facilities, for drug rehab facilities, for youth facilities, and that just gives me a huge opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. It's interesting because I don't love it that I have street cred, but I don't. I'm not proud of it. It's terrible. But
right.
What's happened is when these institutions call me, they have me come and speak because they say, look, we can tell them all day long, but when you stand up and you say, I've been there.
Right. And I teach so much like that because we've been there. You know, when you say, I didn't want to live another day, I thought everybody'd be better off without me.
Yeah.
That was my twin brother. And he didn't stop. He took his life.
Yeah.
You know, and when you can talk from a space of, I've been there and I know what that feels like and what it took to overcome that and to get past it, you have such a better bond with those people that are experiencing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's an amazing thing because you don't realize how many people need to hear your message. I think that's probably the biggest thing I've taken away from all this, is now being able to move past this after many years, being able to get remarried, to buy, you know,
and she
get
likes
a house.
you.
And she likes me. I think she likes me.
She likes you a lot.
She's incredible. I'm, you know, so lucky. I'm not an advocate of divorce. I always tell people I'm not an advocate of divorce, but if you get a second chance, I got a really good one. So.
Well, and 8 kids.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You're a phenomenal dad.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. It's work. It is work. It's, you know, being a parent is tough, but it's magic. It all boils down to a little bit of magic. And, you know, I remember for me, I was in the self-help section of Barnes & Noble, and I was looking at all the books. And I was looking at all the different ones. And a friend of mine who you know, Steve Haycock, he actually said, hey, go to Barnes & Noble, check this out. He's actually the one who turned me on to this idea of checking out Barnes & Noble. And as I was looking through all the self-help books, they all talked about all these principles. And not a single one of them mentioned a principle that you and I firmly believe in, that we apply on a daily basis, right?
Right.
But as I started asking people, whenever you're having a really bad day, when life's hard, when life's tough, I was incarcerated. Here I am in the worst place in my entire life. I'm at the lowest point in my life where I'm struggling every single day. And the one thing that helped me get out of myself And I ask people, when you're having a really bad day, what's the easiest thing for you to forget about you? And almost always the same answer comes, which is serve. Go out and do something for someone else. Do something for someone else, expecting absolutely nothing in return.
Exactly.
And that ultimately is the real magic, is finding ways to go out and help other people, expecting absolutely nothing. I remember when I had money, it seemed like it was easy to give.
Right.
But when I was in jail, I didn't have money. I didn't have anything. I had nothing.
Right.
And the only thing I could do was share a talent, or show a little magic trick here, or talk to someone and give them a little bit of me. And that's when I really discovered it's not about money. It's not.
Right.
It's about overcoming me and giving to someone else and serving someone else in a way. Steve and I started this service journal, and it actually began prior to me serving time. But my kids, we would write down acts of service we did that day, and we created this service journal, this 30 days of writing down an act of service you did for someone who you expected nothing in return. And we've had some amazing experiences, from the dad who said, 22 days into it, that here's his son, and he used to come home every day and yell at him because his soccer cleats, he'd kick out his soccer cleats and leave them in the path, and he would get mad and he'd yell at his kid. And on the 22nd day of this 30 days of doing service, he sees his son's cleats, and instead of thinking, you dirty rotten kid, you didn't pick up your cleats, he said, I saw an opportunity to serve my son, and I picked up the cleats and I took him into his room. And I broke down after, because I thought, what a difference it made in our home. Because instead of me yelling at my son now, all of a sudden I found a way to serve him. And instead of me asking my kids, hey, will you clean up the dishes for mom? They were looking for chances to serve each other. And so the kids thinking, hey, here's a chance for me to serve mom, they would clean up the dishes and do the dishes. And so
without being asked.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden everybody's looking for chances and people that they can serve. And maybe it's a kind smile. And you know what? Maybe it is $5 to the guy on the street. We don't know.
But there's so many ways.
Oh, there's so many ways.
You talk about, you just have to be creative. I've told the story a lot of when we were in the hospital.
Yeah.
And we did a balloon. But it was going and visiting those kids. And it was our time. And time's money. If you don't have the cash, you have the time. You can prioritize whatever you want to do and do it. But service is huge. And when you can take that focus off of yourself and what you're experiencing in that traumatic time, and even if it's just a bad day.
You hit it right on the head.
You go that extra mile and do something for someone else, expecting nothing in return.
Absolutely.
And your day will change.
It's a proven fact. You can be at the lowest of low, and that's one of the reasons why addiction centers have me come and speak a lot, because addiction of any kind is all about selfishness. Mm-hmm. It's all about me. It's turning into me, whether that's alcohol or drugs or pornography or whatever. It's self-gratification. Drugs and drug addiction is all about self-gratification. What can I do for me? How am I going to feel better? What's me?
Yeah, what's in it for me is big right now.
Right. And
besides that, but in the addiction
just in the world too. And so if we can learn to get over self and think, what can I do to help you? What can I do to serve you? Oh man, all of a sudden we get rid of us and put someone else in front of us, and that really leads to magic things happening. That experience that you've had, you'll never forget that. Your family's never going to forget that. I will never forget that day sitting in the worst place that you can think of and reading the letter the next day that he wrote me. I didn't have anything. It wasn't anything more than just sitting down and talking to someone who needed a smile that day. And to feel like I made a difference in someone's life, regardless of who they are or where they come from, that's an amazing feeling to have. And so it became a challenge for me every single day to try to find someone that I could serve while I was incarcerated, and then after I was incarcerated, and then still to this day, and looking for those opportunities, praying for those opportunities, asking God to help me find those opportunities. I still don't have a lot. I'm happy. I'm super happy, but I'm not financially secure to go out and buy people things that they need. And that's okay, because the one thing I can do is stop and talk to them or visit with them.
Exactly.
I think that that's a huge thing that people don't realize is, like you said, time is money. And time, more than anything, is what people want. If I'm dead honest, and this is a terrible thing to admit, but I didn't beat my kids, but I wasn't present in my children's lives. I was way concerned about my career. I was way concerned about a lot of things, and it took me going through this huge traumatic experience in my life to get to know my children and to realize that, they didn't care. They just wanted dad.
Right.
They wanted my time. They didn't care if we were going on a cruise, or they wanted me. They didn't want all that stuff. And it's amazing for me to realize that I had 4 amazing kids that I didn't know, and that in the last 6 years now, I've gotten to know them, and to text them and talk to them and see. And I was driving in a car with my son on Monday. We were driving, just me and him, and we just started talking. And he said, Dad, the best thing is that I can just talk to you, and I can say whatever I want to say, and I know that you're going to just talk to me. That never would have happened 6 years ago. It wouldn't have, because I wasn't present. Am I grateful that it happened? No, I'm not. It was hard. But it's a good lesson. That's right. But I'm grateful for the lessons that I learned and that I've implemented in my life, and the changes that I've made personally, as well as with my family. And so, it's awesome. It's amazing.
Right. Well, and everybody's going to have challenges.
Absolutely.
Not everybody's going to go to jail.
not
everybody's going to have cancer or suicide. Right. But everyone has challenges. Everyone has stuff and reasons and lessons that they get to learn. And the more we look at it and the more we get into it and really seriously go into sincere service, where when you go and do something for someone else that they can't do for themselves, and you leave a lifted person, a better person, that's sincere service. Simple service is, I'm a dad, I need to be a dad to my kids. I'm a wife, I need to do stuff with my husband and my family. That's simple service. But sincere service, when you really go into it with the intention of, I am going to go do something for somebody else that they can't do for themselves. And that's what you were doing, even if it was at gel.
Yeah. And
since
yeah,
you're the most giving, serving person that I know, and that's one of the reasons why we have so much in common, is that I'm like, we have so much alike that we really believe in, but you have to get to the depth of, I need to do something different.
Yeah, for me, like I said, it literally saved my life. Because all of a sudden, even depression is about me. It's about, I'm feeling sad, I'm struggling, I'm this, I'm that. And I was struggling with depression. I was struggling with thoughts of, am I worth it? Self-worth, all of those struggles came from me. Me. And as soon as I got out of that cycle, as soon as I started finding opportunities, all of a sudden my day got brighter. And I'm looking for chances to go out and help people. I'm looking for someone to say something or to help. I was able to help 6 different guys get their GED. It was amazing to me, just giving some tutoring skills or things that, I'm not a teacher by any means, but there were things that people needed, and they needed help and studying and different things. And I've got some skills that I could help people with. You don't realize just basic things that you can do that don't cost money, that save people's lives, really. I mean, it changes them forever. It does. And so, the acronym MAGIC, I gotta share with you what I came up with that. Is that okay?
That's great.
So I took the word MAGIC, and I broke it up into letters. So you got the M, and everything begins with making a decision. So the letter M stands for make a decision. You got to make a decision to serve someone today. So that's the first thing. You got to wake up in the morning and make that decision. Today I'm going to serve someone. Today I'm going to make a difference in someone's life. And just by saying it and affirming that that's what you're going to do, that's the beginning. So that's awesome. So you got to make the decision that you're going to give service. Second step is to take action. That's A. So we got the M is to make a decision. A is to take action. Because you can make all the decisions you want, but if you don't do anything about it, we're not going to go anywhere.
It's a wish.
That's right. It's just a wish.
Decision.
So the next part is taking action and actually finding someone to do something for. And then when you see that opportunity, take action. And that can be the scariest thing. I cannot tell you how many times it's been 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and I I'm looking still. I'm like, okay, I haven't done anything for someone today. And I walk into Target and I walk out and there's the homeless guy walking towards me. Mm-hmm. And it's scary. And I think, is he going to knife me? Or do I know him from jail? No, I'm just kidding. But I just think, and I know what he's going to say, and I think, okay, this is my chance. Or sometimes they're not going to say anything.
Right.
But here's my chance to take action. I've made the decision. Now I got to take action. Am I going to go do it? Am I going to seek opportunities to? And it scares people. It scares my wife sometimes when she sees me like, as we're walking, just run over to somebody and start talking to them, a homeless guy, right? They're like, "What are you doing, crazy guy?" Yeah. But it's always a good experience. So we got to take action. The G is just to give. Give whatever you can. Sometimes people have this idea that giving is money, and I agree with you. Time is way more precious than money. Sometimes it's okay to give money. It's okay to pay for the person behind you's Happy Meal,
And it's okay to give till it hurts.
Absolutely.
Like, if you only have $20, give $20.
Exactly. If you only got 5, give
you'll
5.
Have some more.
That's right. It always comes back. And I one of the quotes someone said once that I absolutely love is that, God doesn't ask us for our spare time. He asks us for our precious time. And I think even giving up time sometimes is hard. I volunteer once a week to work with some boys and help them. And it's hard sometimes. There's times I'm like, I really don't want to go.
Especially that 12 to...
Yeah, exactly. Especially the age I work with, right? But I volunteer to work with them, and every time I go, it always ends up better for me because I'm giving service. I'm doing something for them. So you give expecting nothing. And that's the key. You don't give thinking, well, I'm going to do this nice thing, hopeful that they're going to do something back. Right? The reason we serve our families and each other is because we love them. And we're just doing it because we love them. We care. We want to love mankind enough and my fellow man to give expecting nothing. When I give the guy a Happy Meal or I'm buying him something, I'm not expecting him to come pay me back or even say thank you. Sometimes people give and then they get mad that they don't get the thank you or they don't get... Who cares? That's not the point.
That wasn't why you did it.
That's right. You're not doing it for that. You're doing it because it makes us better as people. So you make a decision, you take action, you give expecting nothing.
Right.
The I is an important one. I think and this is to invest. And the I love the word invest. Somebody told me once you can spend your time or you can invest your time.
Invest your time.
And I even make that mistake because I talk about these boys. I'm like, I got to go spend an hour with them. Well, yeah, it could be a spent time or I could take an hour and invest my time with them and invest in them. And so to invest in you and to invest in others. And if you get over that spending time and start investing your time,
right.
I think it might have been you actually in one of your CDs that I've listened to, but you talked, if I remember right, you kind of talked about, be present. Exactly. Wherever you are, be there. Be there. I struggle with that still to this day. But I'm much better than I used to be. This weekend I was able to take and do time with my kids, and it was nice because I was, get out of cell phone range, and you got no sort of, and it forces me to not look at my phone, forcing me to hang out with my kids. But I love that because all of a sudden I become more present. I become present, and so investing your time rather than spending it, to invest in yourself as well as others. Make yourself better. Watching things like this, learning the 7 habits that you talk about, the 7 decisions, all that stuff that you teach. Is investing in you. And so by people going on to your website, coming and learning from you, that's investing in themselves. And that's huge to invest. And then the last one is just to make a commitment. To make a commitment to do it every single day. To make a commitment that this is going to be the person that you want to become. You want to be someone who gives expecting nothing. And so we make a decision, we take action, we give expecting nothing, we invest in others, and then we commit to do it every single day. And that ultimately is magic.
That is the real magic.
That is the real magic.
The real magic.
It's the real magic. Now, can I show you a magic trick, though? I cannot come here and talk about magic and not show you a magic trick. So I'm going to show you my wife's favorite trick. I ask this question a lot, and people know the answer, and that is, I have $5 here. Who is on the front of a $1 bill? Who's on the front?
Washington.
George Washington. You got the answer right.
Yay!
George Washington is on the front of a $1 bill. Yay. Here's the question nobody gets right. And I've asked this question to thousands of people. But I ask them, what's on the back of a $1 bill? And usually the answer is like the White House or some building. Do you know what's on the back?
It says 1, doesn't it?
It does say 1. It actually has 2 things. On one side, it has a pyramid with an eye. They call it the Illuminati eye or The pyramid with the eye. So if you look, I'm going to show you, that's the pyramid with the eye. You got that on one side, and then on the other side you have the American seal. You can see that. So you've got the American seal is on one side and the Illuminati eyes on the other. Now if you look at them closely, like this, just look closely, and you can actually see these $1 bills. They look more like
I want those
$20.
now.
Exactly. They look more like 20s.
A lot more like 20.
My wife and I, we have a lot of fun with that. We will go shopping, and the bill will be $80 or something, and she'll be like, "Do the trick, do the trick." So I say to the cash register person, I'll say, I've only got $5. I'm sorry, and they're like, "Oh," and they're like, "Kidding, here's $100," and then they're like, "Oh, we can't take that."
It's fake money.
It's a lot of fun. It's actually real money, but a lot of fun, and that's my wife's favorite trick, so I figured I at least had to show you a magic trick.
That's
since
awesome.
So,
she does great magic.
A lot of fun. I love to perform. I'm very blessed. I didn't solicit my agent, who doesn't live in Utah. I did 0 advertising last year. I'd have to add it up. I think I did 40 shows last year.
Wow.
I didn't advertise once. People just from word of mouth, people hear about me, and this, I still do magic. I still speak. I'm not full time on stage anymore. I MC a bunch of events. I speak to youth groups, like I said, a lot of drug addiction and rehab facilities, things like that. And I love it. It's absolutely fun. And people contact me. Sometimes I don't even know how they heard about me. I got a phone call right around Christmas time from a guy by the name of Carl Malone, if you know who that is. So here's a cool experience. Doing service. I was doing service, doing some magic for a guy who said, "Hey, my kids love magic. Will you do magic for them?" And I did. And that turned into him. He happened to be Carl Malone's business partner. And he said, "Hey, Carl, you should hire this guy." And so Carl Malone hired me for a Christmas show this last year. So fantastic.
So,
you just
if you
never
don't know Carl Malone, very good basketball player for Utah.
Greatest in my opinion, especially, but definitely the greatest power forward that probably ever played the game.
Then you might want to buy my son's shoes from Carl Malone.
There you go. So yeah, giving is...
When my son had cancer, he was an ambassador,
really?
and he got to spend the day with Carl.
Carl, I'll say this, regardless of what people say, I love the guy. He was so kind and generous to me and my family, and I absolutely love
That's how
Carl
he was
Malone.
with cancer and the hospital and everything.
He's got my
top of his
vote.
game at that point,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of jazz
stuff.
Lots of signatures.
Love the jazz. Jazz. So, it's interesting because this whole idea of service and helping people, my wife's a great example of that. She started a company, and I get to ride on her coattails a little bit because she does, but she found a product that's a service. It's a product that you can take, but it's helping people, and she really got involved in what can I do to help people. And just doing that has been a fun thing for me because I can go out and do the magic and help people, but I've never been involved with a product that actually can help people physically, and so that's been kind of a fun, unique thing for me as well. But I love being here. Thanks for having me. This has been awesome.
This has been awesome. Tell them where they could get more information.
Well, if you want to check me out, you can go to www.zanegraymagic.com. It talks a little about my life story on there, and you're welcome to...
And it's Gray.
Gray, yep, zanegraymagic.com. And you're welcome to message me. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you, or, if you just want to say, "Hey, I saw your story, and you're really cute because you're bald." I'm okay with that, too. No,
Tell them your wife's...
Oh, my wife. So my wife,
well.
my wife, she started this company, and incredible. It's U Life Inc. YEWLIFEINC.com. ulifeinc.com. Fantastic stuff on there. Go check it out. She helps kids with seizures and people with Crohn's disease and all sorts of fun stuff. So that's her business.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I get to throw in my 2 cents once in a while, but that's her thing, and she's incredible. She is amazing at what she does, and I'm just, I'm along for the ride. I'm the eye candy in that business, but she's incredible, and I'm very fortunate. So I've had a great time. I love talking about service and what we can do to help people, and I think ultimately that's the magic. That's the magic.
It is the real magic.
It is the real magic.
And it has been magical having you here.
It's magical being here
on All Things Possible TV. So thank you for being here. Again, If you haven't gotten your 7 traits, go to our website, www.allthingspossible.biz, and get your free gift from us and get those 7 traits so that you can implement them in your life. Zane, thanks again. It was awesome having you here, and great friend, great business associate, and phenomenal person to get to know. So check out his website, check out his wife's website, and see how they're making a difference in the world.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll see you next time here on All Things Possible TV. Bye-bye.